everybody, my name is Laurie, and in today's session, we're making plans. Learners learn what they do, and making plans is a great opportunity to learn by doing. Use task-based language teaching to teach your students how to make plans. Task-based language teaching allows for students to use language to complete meaningful tasks that they encounter in their day-to-day lives, such as making plans with friends. The first step is to activate our learners' previous knowledge. Our learners already know a lot about making plans, so let's help them access that information. Ask your students to think about the last time they made plans. Who did they make plans with? What kind of plans did they make? Did they reach an agreement? Was it easy to reach an agreement? Have your students think about their answers and then share their thoughts with their classmates. For task-based language teaching to be successful, our students need to think about two things: language and process. What language do they need to complete the task successfully, and what steps do they need to take to complete the task? Let's start by thinking about the steps necessary to make plans. Have your students make a list of steps, or if they need more support, you can give them a list out of order and ask them to put it in the correct order. For example, give them this list. What would the correct order be? Have your students compare their list. They can compare it with a member of their team, or they can compare it with a member of a different team. Here is the correct list. Next, let's move our attention to functional language. What kind of language would our students need to make plans? They might need functional language to agree and disagree, like yes, that sounds great, or no, I'd rather do something different. They might need expressions to express interest or to confirm plans. For example, that sounds great, let's do that. And they might also need expressions to start a conversation and to end a conversation. How about, what are you doing this weekend? Or lovely talking to you, see you on Monday. You can use differentiation for these parts of the task. You can let your students choose how they want to complete this process. Some of them might feel confident enough to brainstorm ideas and expressions. Some of them might want to read a text, find the expressions, and classify them. And some of them might prefer to look them up using Google or an AI tool. It is important to make sure that students are aware of the grammar structure. For example, hold their attention to the use of infinitive and gerunds in phrases like, would you like to go to the movies? Or how about going to the movies? At this point, your learners are familiar with the language and the process of making plans. So let's have them complete the task and make plans for the weekend. You can provide an agenda, or you can make it an authentic task and have them use Google to search for options. Be sure to give very clear instructions. What is it that you want them to do? Do you want them to make plans for a movie, a restaurant, an outdoor excursion? Do they need to think about budget? What are some of the parameters for this task? Use instruction checking questions to make sure that everybody understands the task. For example, you could ask, what do you need to plan? Movie and dinner. What is your budget? $75. Explain how you want them to present the results. You can have your students have a conversation and present their final plans to the class. They could write a group chat where they reach an agreement, or maybe they can do a role play where they improvise making plans. Feedback and self-reflection are key to task-based language teaching. Walk around and listen in while your students are completing the task. Pay attention to great language use and areas of improvement. You can use a grow and glow chart to give feedback. You can also ask your students to think about the task and reflect on how they did, what things they did well, and what things they need to improve on. How do you teach your students to make plans? Do you have some great teaching tips? Share them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to TESOL's How to Teach series for more fun tips. Happy teaching, everybody. See you soon.